All right. Well, we are here for our 2024 annual V-Shott event. That is the virtual shooting, hunting, outdoors, tactical tele-event. No relationship whatsoever to the NSSF SHOT Show. No affiliations whatsoever. Not that it really matters, because we decided this year to not do it immediately after SHOT Show, because that ended up being one of those things that we realized is that trying to do V-Shott immediately after SHOT Show was a little bit of big lift, a little tough to do.
That was a great idea.
It was a great idea. All right, we'll let some. Are new to V-Shott, have never tuned in before. V-Shott is kind of, it's an opportunity for us, the Tnvc staff and special guests, to talk directly to the community. Answer your questions, but also kind of go into some deep dives on equipment, technology, techniques, training, basically all kinds of topics that are related to night vision. And then, of course, every night we conclude with what we affectionately call the virtual circle bar, where we all can crack open some drinks. Tom will probably drink a root beer.
Or warm milk.
Or warm milk from Waffle House. I'm surprised you recovered from that ever at all. It was a little touch and go for a while. Wasn't sure that we were ever going to see you again after you drank warm Waffle House milk that one year.
Oh well, live and learn.
It definitely made you stronger.
For those that are watching, we will be doing a live Q&A session. So go over to our Facebook page, Tnvc Inc. And we'll answer those as they come in.
So, like every year, V-Shott is going to be separated into 3 nights, and we're going to have kind of, rough themes, at least, of what we talk about during the first 2-ish hours or so, depending on how long that conversation goes. So, for 2024, night 1 is going to be basically what we are calling VAS 101. So, VAS is, of course, the acronym for Visual Augmentation Systems, which is more or less how the DoD is now classifying kind of all. It used to be just plain old night vision, and then it was kind of night vision and thermal, but nowadays we're talking about, all sorts of multispectral tools, augmented reality, and all of the crazy stuff that goes into that goes into the IVAS program and all that kind of stuff. So now it's all just kind of become visual augmentation systems, and that also includes all of the lasers, a lot of the optics and everything like that. And kind of as the scope of visual augmentation systems and degraded conditions fighting and degraded conditions considerations have evolved, TNVC has also had to evolve. So Night one tonight is pretty much going to primarily be, again, we call it VAS 101. We're going to be kind of talking about, some general discussion of the technology, what it is that we mean by visual augmentation systems, what are some of those considerations. We're going to be talking a little bit about training, a little bit about equipment. It's really for not just to refresh on it, but obviously the night vision industry, the visual augmentation systems industry, especially on the consumer side, has expanded a huge amount over the last few years. So night two is going to be our kind of more consumer-focused, consumer-grade kind of night, where we're going to be talking about, we have Tom from Night Goggles, who frequent viewers may recognize, the program director for Night Goggles, our Tnvc sub-brand that focuses primarily around hunting. And then we're also going to be talking about various kind of, I don't want to say non-tactical applications of night vision and visual augmentation systems, but kind of, the stuff that's not just all about dressing up in multicam and LARPing in your mom's basement.
Yeah, it's all 2A related, but we all use it differently.
And then finally, night three is kind of when we're going to go into talking about advanced programs, advanced products, kind of, where and kind of, we'll be talking the next year to stuff that's potentially, but
those discussions are always fun when people ask us to predict the future.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I guess that's kind of part of what we're supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
I will predict the future. It'll allow you to see
In the dark.
in the dark.
Right.
You heard it here first, folks.
Super
Probably
power
gonna
you
get
can
some
buy.
All right. So before we get started, I do want to thank some of our friends and partners from a couple of companies that help support the 2024 V-Shott, and you will probably be seeing some, you'll be seeing some videos from them and seeing some special messages from all of them throughout the V-Shott presentation. So Tnvc and Night Goggles V-Shott 2024 is brought to you by OpsCore, Unity Tactical, Wilcox Industries, the Sterling Promise Foundation, and Research Technology Keystone, otherwise known as RTK, as well as Greenline Tactical. So before we get started, let's for folks that may not know who we all are, let's go around and do some introductions. I kind of started with you already, Tom, so why don't you please introduce yourself?
Well, I'm Tom Austin. I hail from Utah. Grew up hunting and fishing and loving outdoors as a kid. And I was now almost 10 years as the program director of Night Goggles, which Augie said focuses on our hunting community. And my job is to find gear that you guys could use outdoors for hunting, for prepping, for recreational use, for overlanding, things of that nature, and bring it to market so that you can have some fun stuff to play with. It may not be all mil spec, and some of it is mil spec as well. So we carry a gamut of different things that complements what TNVC's product lineup is.
All right, thank you, Tom. So contestant number 2 from the glorious beard table over here.
We groom ourselves. Hey everybody, I'm Joe Halloran. Spent way far longer in the Army than I'd like to admit. Multiple decades just doing general purpose forces stuff. I hail from Oklahoma. I like to call it the Australia of the United States. It was founded by outlaws. And I'm the new, shiny new director. Assumed duties from Bill Peterson, and we're sustaining a program That was actually built by a guy who's going to come on the net in about half an hour. I'll probably wave my arms around a lot. We like to focus our training on component, even though about 50% of the technology is on the end of a gun. But we want our students to come away being competent, confident, and capable in their abilities to, process information and make a decision and apply the correct technology. Back to you, Augie.
Thank you. And to you, Shane.
Oh, so now we're skipping over you. Okay.
Everyone knows who Augie is.
Yeah, everybody. Videos, people have
Videos that are about 7.
Yeah. I feel like as much as I could.
Shane Cook. With this fine group of individuals. Prior life was law enforcement, retired in 2022, did some time on our SWAT team, and competitive shooter in PRS and so I'm happy to be here, happy to gain some knowledge out there as well. So whatever your questions are, go ahead and drop them into the Facebook live chat. And
Thank you. So I know I don't have to talk too much, but I see that I am neglected. A lot of you guys are here is because every year during the V-Shott presentation, we always like to have some cool giveaways. So we've got, a bunch of daily swag packs and tour minis. And then we'll have kind of a daily, a daily big prize, which will culminate on night 3 with this set here of Crazy Vic's Mod 3 goggles. So this is a fully mil-spec, or I should say it's full Tnvc system with the full Tnvc warranty, utilizing L3 Harris green phosphor mil-spec. So these tubes could theoretically have gone in any contract, any DoD contract goggle system. They're not fallouts, they're not, blem systems or anything like that. And being the Mod 3s, they will also come with a set of monocular adapters, so you can actually configure this either as a binocular system like you see it here, or you can split off the monocular pods and use them as 2 monoculars, kind of similar to the PVS 14. Obviously, this is I say obviously. I say obviously about a lot of things when they're definitely not obvious.
it's obvious to you.
So the Mod 3B, I said that you can split them into monoculars and use them as a monocular system like the PVS 14. However, this is an automatic brightness control only system. It doesn't have a manual gain configuration on this particular set. So that's going to be the only difference if you use them as a monocular. But that being said, if you want to be entered for the giveaway, obviously V-Shott every year, and this year included, is 100% free to watch. There's no registration. You don't have to get on any lists or anything like that. If you just want to tune in and watch, and then also, as Shane mentioned, have to be submitted through Facebook, but we are streaming on YouTube, tnvc.com, as well as on Facebook. But if you have a question to ask, if you want to reach us, the only way that you're going to be able to get to us is going to be through Facebook. And if you want to be entered in any of the giveaway draws on our mailing list and be registered, so that's https V-Shott.
2 T's.
It's V-Shott with 2 T's. Yeah.
Vote early and vote often. Voting in Chicago.
So once again, signing up for the mailing with 2 T's, VSHOTT, is the only way that you are going to be eligible for the giveaways. Be able to receive not just potentially these Mod 3Bs, any of the other giveaways that we've got coming up this week. That being said, in addition to that, we'll be sending out update emails specifically to that email list. V-Shott, has kind of always been a platform and a vehicle for us to make some new product launches and new product releases. Special discount codes that are exclusive to people who have registered to receive the V-Shott. Because you signed up in previous years. FCC or whose rules are that?
It's our rule. It's good. Good rule.
It's your rule.
You are the chief of staff now, in addition to. But if you want to be eligible for the discounts and get the first crack at any new releases, that we. V-Shott.
These next 3 days. A lot of cool product launches, a lot of cool gear that we're going to show you and talk to you about. Guys said, so definitely sign up and get that information and get some free stuff while you're at it.
We got free stuff to give. All right, so we've got a little bit of time before Don comes on. So our first guest that's going to be coming on in about 10 minutes here is going to be Don Edwards from Green Line Tactical. He's got a little bit of a special message from you. Don, I'll let him speak to most of it, but obviously Don has had a long history with Tnvc. Have we been getting any?
So we do have a question,
Questions?
and we can either hit this now or kind of hit it over the course of
We
tonight.
got 10 minutes until Don calls in.
So we've got one question in here saying, is Gen 3 noticeably better than Gen 2 and Gen 2 Plus? So who wants to take that one? Joe, you look like a great, we don't want him to talk too much, so Joe, why don't you take it?
Well, the answer is yes, without being a specs nerd, because I feel like four-leaf tayback every time someone talks about specs. I mean, I don't know what the specs are. I just know I can see in the dark. Having started under traditional Gen 2 image intensification a million years ago, probably back before a lot of people were born that are either viewing or listening, there's a vastly noticeable difference of the image clarity and quality and contrast between Gen 2 and Gen 3 systems, period. I would argue it's the difference between a Yugo and
Careful.
what? You have a Yugo?
No, but
I mean, that too might be
Oh, is that-
a little old of a.
Is that dated? Dang.
You gotta get some new content.
West Germany. I mean, their generational changes speak directly to in improvements in not only the technology but in the manufacturing processes of how companies like L3 makes images. Noticeable difference. I'm not plugging the training program, but we do have some imagery in the didactic portion of our Night Fighter. Demonstrate the differences between a Gen 2 and a Gen 3 image intensification tool.
Oh, don't worry. We'll get to the portion where you get to plug the training program. That is you, right? In that picture of the. That's.
It's I'm at the very end of Gen 2 though.
can I add on to that?
Of course.
It also depends on what you're gonna do with it. If you're just walking around in the woods, like checking perimeter of your property, and you have IR light on, you might not see that much of a difference.
Yeah.
But in the darkest environments, no IR light, no ambient light from clouds, moon, street lights, things like that, that's when you notice the big difference between Gen 2 and Gen 3. But if you're a hunter, for example, and all you do is run IR light, it might not be worth buying the Gen 3 because you may not get the added benefit of it. So it really depends on what you're going to do. That's why application is very important.
You'll hear this at least once over the next 3 days, and the guys I work with and these guys get tired of me saying it all the time. It's define your requirements first before you ever start putting dollars against whatever's newest, latest, and greatest, or old that still works. I mean, image intensification, night vision in general it's the only superpower that you can buy unless you're on gear, which I don't recommend. But you can buy the superpower, and Tom is absolutely spot on. And from time to time, we'll have guys coming through class that are like, "I've got this thing, and it was made by Russia." And the first question I ask them is, "Can you see in the dark?" And when they so define your requirements before you ever start. Thus endeth the sermon, for now anyway. Rant over, not complete.
Well, I mean, and I think that being VAS 101 night, when is, what is a night vision capability to begin with? I mean, a baby monitor, a ring camera, even an old school camcorder, if anybody remembers those. Those are all night vision capabilities. So, when we talk about night vision capabilities, a lot of times, at least if you're us and of the audience tonight and watch V-Shott, you think night vision capability, and you're at least a head-mounted goggle or something like that. But night vision capabilities is really a very category, and one, to be honest, that not considering the broadness of that category, in the past has gotten us in trouble downrange before, and that kind of not understanding and not realizing that we may have the best technology, but sometimes you don't always need the best technology in order for that to in order to have some sort of usable capability.
I think Joe says it best. Joe, it's just a PVS 14.
Are we going to pull that?
Yeah, we're going to pull it out. Let's go.
All right, so simply put, and this may offend somebody on the interwebs, but there's more bad people have been put in the dirt by American 19-year-old booger eaters with just a PVS 14 on their issued ACH helmet and just a PEC 15 on their either Colt or FN contract rifle. Again, can you see in the dark? And the answer is yes.
Define the requirement.
Define your requirement, and then off to the races. We could talk about, monocular vision and stereoscopic vision and how the eyes work and all those things.
And
Bottom
the
line is-
binocular summation.
What? Don't ask about that. It truly is define your requirements, and I'm stealing this line. I think John Dufresne say it. The PVS 14 is like the Glock 19 of the night vision world. It's gonna work all the time. So that's rant over, not complete. You're gonna hear that a lot.
Joe's got his sayings that he.
There's like a long
likes.
string of, you pull the string on the cowboy. There's a snake in my boot. You know that? There's like 100 of them going down my back, and that was one of them. Thanks, Shane.
Appreciate that. You said it better than I could have ever tried to regurgitate all of that. So.
Okay. Good job, buddy.
All right. So we have another question in here. Augie, you're kind of clumsy, so I'm going to leave it for you.
Oh boy.
Are you going to drop anything expensive?
I'm sure that I mean, I don't know, somebody want to hand me those GPNVGs so I can drop them? Yeah, I've dropped plenty of NVGs. They, as Joe so eloquently put it, they're designed for 19-year-old booger eaters, and I've been using them since I was about one of those.
Good.
And I've dropped a lot of NVGs, and by and large, they've been okay.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever broken a set of NVGs by dropping them.
They're delicate and they're not fragile, if that makes sense. Comma, break, take care, because how does a peanut butter sandwich fall?
Peanut butter down.
Right, so how do your goggles fall generally? In the most expensive way possible.
Yep.
So I wouldn't recommend swinging them around over your head and slinging them across the room. I've done that. And I have fallen down a flight of stairs with those goggles on my head, and they're fine.
All right, I think we're going to, I think Don should be calling in soon, but we're going to try and improve the streaming resolution. So we're going to take a real quick break and